Would you like to know more about using video to build your brand? If that's something that you're interested in, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the very first podcast of Houston Proximity Marketing Group, episode number 1. This podcast will outline a few basic tips on creating and using video to grow your fellowship and client base. But first, a little about your host. My name is Rome Wilkerson. I'm a working photographer in the Houston area. I've been working in that industry for over 25 plus years. A few years ago, I created a second company, Houston Proximity Marketing. I've been creating content with clients for over 25 years, listed from product photography and video all the way to weddings. Here are a few basic steps you can implement to create your first marketing video. Number 1, content is king. You may think you already know the power of video. What most people don't know is where to get started. And after completing your video project, you may ask yourself, what should I do with it? Where most people make their first mistake is to think that all they need is one video, and the followers and the clients will just flood in. In 98% of the case, it's the exact opposite. And in most cases, it's very true. You will start with just one video, but that can only get you so far. You will need on the average 4 to 5 different pieces of content, video as well as photos. That means each month you'll have to create new content. Now at some point you will be able to recirculate this content and use it again, but for the most part you want to be able to produce something new to keep people engaged, to get them to comment, to get them to subscribe, and more importantly, get them to share your content on their own personal pages. Creating content for social media is much different than running a TV ad where you show the same content over and over again. It's just the opposite. On many social media platforms, there's a little known feature that if you post the same content too many times or use the same hashtags too many times, you'll be blocked. And what I mean by that is you will be blocked from new potential users seeing your content. Now that doesn't apply if you're paying for ads on that platform, but for most users, if you're posting the same things over and over again, at some point the algorithm will take notice of it and it will place you into a shadow ban category. You don't want that. So to get started, you will need to create at least a minimum of 4 different types of content, as I mentioned before. And yes, you can do this yourself. To get started, pick up that $1,000+ smartphone and shoot a few clips. On the average, you need something between 15 to 30 seconds. Then you can add music or a voiceover, but a quick tip, make sure you're not using music you don't have the rights to. You will need to find royalty-free music in order to post your content on most social media platforms. Now, platforms like YouTube, they have a complete directory of music that is available to you to download and use in your projects for free. When it comes to editing your video, many smartphones have a basic built-in app that will allow you to do basic editing, to be able to cut, separate clips, trim clips, add music. Even in some cases, some of the iPhones as well as the more advanced Android phones have features that will allow you to even do voiceovers over your existing video. Take advantage of those features. Tip number 2, take advantage of the opportunity to post your content any place you can. But beware, if you're posting in social media groups, say Facebook, Instagram, well, there's no groups on Instagram, but let's say Facebook, and you don't run this group, you take a chance of being categorized as a spammer, and you don't want to see that happen. So make sure before you start posting in these groups, you have permission or the group's rules don't prohibit you posting marketing content in their groups. Now, another option would be create your own group and start to acquire your own following in that group. Stay consistent with your branding. Keep your colors and logo the same. In every post, make sure that everything looks exactly the way you expect it to. Like in most things, we only get one chance to make a first impression. Here's another tip. Think about creating brand ambassadors or an ambassador program. And in the beginning, you may only be able to offer them a percentage off of something or a discount for them helping to promote your service or your platform. In every post that you put out, make sure at the end to include one important feature, a call to action. And the best way to do call to actions is within 2 steps. Let's say the first step would be to ask them to go and visit your website. If they were going to be signing up to be maybe a brand ambassador or for a discount, or maybe some contest that you're setting up that you would use to encourage people to purchase or use your services. Contest is going to always be an excellent way to draw attention to your platform, to your store, your website, your social group, whatever it may be. Never miss an opportunity to reach out to a potential new follower or client. Spend time every day responding to comments. Let people know that you're engaged. Before I end this short podcast, I want to touch upon a few things that I hear most often when someone is thinking about getting started. I don't have the right gear. I don't know how to edit video. I don't like my recorded voice. I don't have enough time. I don't even know where to get started. The answer to all of those things is very simple. Yes, you can. And if your business or your branding or you becoming an influencer is important to you, you'll make time. And if you do it properly, it will not take a lot of time out of your day or your week. It will just become a part of your routine. So take advantage of optimizing as much opportunities that present themselves and learn your way, not what someone else says you should be doing, but the way you feel that's going to work best for you. And knowing what works for you is going to make it easier for you to do it on a daily basis and it not feel like work. It's just another activity. It's like getting up in the morning and making coffee, turning on the television, walking out and starting your vehicle. It's just an action. So create a scenario for yourself where your marketing becomes just another routine that you do throughout your day. In future podcasts, we'll go much deeper on a lot of these subjects. And hopefully you've learned something. And if you did, please subscribe. Remember, this is episode 1, building your brand on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Anchor, a number of other major platforms that you can utilize. And if you're recording video, you have 2 options: posting video or posting just the audio. And in many cases, you can post the audio as a podcast. Keep that in mind. This has been Rome Wilkerson, and thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with me tonight. I will see you guys in the next podcast. If you'd like to follow me on other social medias, the links will be down in the description below. Until then, have a blessed day, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next cast.